Meet the poor man's Urus, or should I say the smart man's. This is an Audi RSQ8. Now the internet loves calling this the poor man's Urus, but to me, I think it's the smart man's Urus. Oh my God, this thing is so quick. And that's thanks to this lying underneath the bonnet of this giant beast. Is a giant motor, a 4-litre V8 twin turbocharged, 600 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque, paired with that all legendary quattro system. But bear in mind, this is 2.3 tons, and yet this thing can still propel itself to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Ridiculous. Obviously guys, this is a smash and grab review. It's literally pitch black, but let me demonstrate the main thing of this RSQ8, which is obviously the way it gets off the line. 3.6 seconds. That's ridiculous, guys. Honestly, 2.3 tons this SUV weighs. It should not be moving like this. For me, that's what's really impressive, is the way he's handling these bends. And that's thanks to that rear wheel steer. Genuinely, guys, it feels like I'm chucking about an RS3 around these back roads. It's ridiculous. Oh, there you go. That Audi Sport differential just kicking out the back. So you can get the back end out. And that rear wheel steer is really the element of this car. It just really tucks it in. Honestly, it's impressive. The ride is a bit fidgety, obviously at lower speeds, but the way it irons out the bump at higher speeds is literally next level. And there's like virtually no lag as well with these turbos. Obviously hot V setup, so that's probably why. One thing to note, Audis seem to have this across the range. It's sort of to protect the gearbox, you know, the 8-speed ZF in this. It's some sort of torque management system. So as an initial kick down, you'll find there's an initial bit of lag. So look, I put my foot down and then it's off. You know, even sometimes if the car's really unhappy, you'll find it reaches sort of like an anti-lag stage where it holds the revs and then it gives you the power. Oh my days. But when it is in that, look, I'm just staying with the S3 effortlessly. Those brakes have so much bite to them. I should not be throwing around a 2.3 ton SUV like this. It's ridiculous. That suspension really ironing out all the bumps as well. And one thing to note is that this has the electronically assisted anti-roll bars. So it literally props up the car as I chuck it into the bend. That's probably why it feels like I'm cornering so flat, and why it makes it feel like it's pocket rocket hatchback, the RS3. Those brakes have so much bite, literally 8 pots up front, and they're not cheap to replace, about 4 grand. It's ridiculous. Just listen to that V8, man, snarling away. Oh. Obviously it's pitch black. You know, the reason why I've obviously had the RSQ8, I've just got it for a little bit of a short time, but I wanted to show you guys that, you know, whilst I don't like these performance SUVs, they're incredibly capable. There's no denying that. The fact that this is built to mainly be a Knightsbridge curb crawler to do the odd school run, but if you show it a back road or two, it will not disappoint. And I think something that this big, you know, don't get me wrong, obviously there's other cars in the Audi lineup. We literally done a review on the TTS, and again, that would munch up a road like this. But the fact that you can do this in something this big is ridiculous. Does it justify a 100k price tag? I don't know. You do have to pay a price for road presence these days, so that's something to consider. And with the Urus costing about double the price, you really have to take that into consideration, what kind of bang for buck you're getting if you want this style of ride. Oh, and it sounds really good. It's a shame it's got a soft limiter. All Audi seem to do that, you know, but beggars can't be choosers. At least when it's on the fly, you get that lovely V8 roaring. Oh, what a car. Is it better than the X5M? The X5M is still more agile, but it's no doubt that the presence that it has on the roads, the way it just looks like a bolo tank. You're not beating that, especially in this satin black wrap that this car is beautifully wrapped in. Oh my days. One thing though, it's definitely thirsty. And guess where we are right now? At a petrol station, because this will be the RSQ8's second home. averaging about less than 10 miles per gallon, it's definitely something to consider. Even running costs in general, brakes, 4 grand to replace, tyres, £300 each corner. You know, whilst the RSQ8 can drive a bargain, it's certainly not cheap to run. Interior, you know, you're surrounded by Alcantara everywhere. This is obviously the top-notch Vorsprung model. You know, you've got this Audi infotainment system, obviously, as I've covered in the TikTok. It's not the best, if I'm honest. I don't like how it's solely reliant on touchscreen, but alas, that's how manufacturers want to be nowadays. But other than that, it's a really solid, you know, really spacious cabin. And that rear wheel steer actually makes commandering this big ship not that much of a challenge. Even when it comes to U-turns, I can kind of do them with ease. Take kind of with a pinch of salt though. It's still massive, don't get it twisted. At the end of the day, the Urus, you know, it's going to be that shoutier, that more aggressive package. You know, it's definitely those for that want to be a bit more flaunty. But this, you know, this is quite understated, and I kind of prefer that. And I feel like this gives us more serious rides from the outside, if I'm honest. You know, someone steps out of this, you're thinking they mean serious business. So that's something to consider, you know, if you're deciding between RSQ8 and Urus. And don't forget, obviously, you can still map these. You know, chuck a downpipe, chuck an email on it. You know, you're well into 700 horsepower. You know, that's plenty of performance. You know, an Urus, a stock Urus, won't know which way you went. So all things considered, you know, you really can have it all with the RSQ8. I guess we'll just have to get a Urus onto the channel to see if it's really worth that premium. If you guys enjoy reviews like these, please follow. Don't worry guys, next review, I'll have a lot more time, you know, a lot more daylight as well. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this RSQ8. Take care, guys.